Welcome to Team Tigio Court TV, where we upload videos every single day. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share our videos.
Others people's life in danger, my life in danger, and a police officer's life in danger. I've been working. I do landscaping for a construction company. I have not been driving because I know if I get caught, then I can make this situation worse. So I've just been going to work and going home. And I just want to sincerely apologize to all the people like that I put in danger and the mistake that I made.
Okay. Why did you do it?
There's really no real reason that I did it. It was just, I just wasn't thinking at the time.
Why did you assume that you were going to get away from the police?
I didn't.
What?
I didn't assume I was going to get away. I knew it was going to be a consequence. I just didn't stop.
Well, how fast do you think did you think you needed to go before you would realize they wouldn't chase you anymore?
About 100 plus.
How did you know that?
Because I believe that's the speed that I was going.
This nonsense has been going on for at least 10 years, where people who don't want to comply and pull over know that if they go a certain mile per hour, that the police are going to call off their chase because there's a danger to other people who are driving down the road minding their own business. And you know that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
This shit's been in the news enough that you know that. So you knew you didn't want to stop, so you decided to go fast enough that you knew they weren't going to chase you. Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Putting all kinds of other people in danger. Why was that not a concern to you?
It was a concern.
It wasn't a concern. If it was a concern, then you would have pulled over and stopped. And then for sure, nobody else would get hurt. With you doing what you did, there was a chance somebody else was going to get hurt. You ever been driving down the freeway before, lawfully, and have somebody come up from behind that you can see in your rear view mirror that's really hauling ass down the freeway? That ever happen to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
It happens to me all the time. Doesn't that concern you when you see that go on?
Yes.
Well, you did the same exact thing because you wanted to, because you didn't want to bother with having to get a ticket. So now, how are you going to get around in the next 3 years?
Ubers or ask somebody.
Okay. Uber is going to cost a lot of money, right?
Yes.
Do you remember what I told you the license suspension, the range was on this case when you pled guilty?
3 years.
Minimum 3 years, up to your lifetime. Did you know that?
No.
That's what I told you when you were here. At least 3 years up to your lifetime. Do you know what the mandatory suspension is on the second one of these nonsensical acts is?
No, Your Honor.
Automatic lifetime. Now, where did you go to high school?
When I lived in Cleveland I went for my freshman and sophomore year. I went to Shaw High School.
Okay.
I moved to Georgia for my junior and senior year, and I graduated from a high school called Walnut Grove.
Okay. What did you do in high school?
For my first 2 years, I played basketball. My junior year, I played football, and my senior year, I was working.
What kind of trouble did you get into when you were in Georgia?
I didn't get in any trouble in Georgia.
When you were back here, what happened in Shaker Heights?
I was the
A
person.
couple weeks before this thing.
The person I was in the car with, I guess her and her girlfriend had something going on, and the girlfriend's mom called and said that she kidnapped her or something, and we were at the Verizon store, so I didn't know what was going on. So the police officer, he pulled up, and I had moved the car up a little bit, and I had got out the car, and then the people who was in the car took off, and they arrested me because I moved the car.
Where do you live?
I stay in Garfield Heights.
With who?
My mother and brother.
How old's your brother?
17.
Where does he go to school?
He goes to Euclid High School.
Where are you working?
I work at a private construction company called Amrock,
Where's that located?
East 72nd Street.
How'd you get that job?
My dad works there, and I guess somebody was leaving, so he needed to fill in a spot.
What do you do?
I do landscaping. Like, it's a part where they work with fire hydrants, and like if they have to go in the grass and dig up the grass, we go out when it's all finished and dried up, and we put down our peat moss seed, fertilizer, so the grass could grow back.
Okay. What's going to happen when it becomes wintertime?
The boss said he's going to try to get me in a union so I can move up and do the fire hydrants, like replace the pipes and stuff like that.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Right now, I'm just seeing if this is something that I really like and I can do this for a long period of time.
How long has your dad been working there?
Since this company, I don't know how long, but he's been doing this kind of work since he was 19 years old.
Okay. What does your mom do?
She works at the Guardian Stadium and she does hair.
Who do you hang around with?
Friends, my brothers. One of my friends, he does. Well, the main friend that I hang around, he's in school right now for nursing. And everybody else just has regular jobs.
How old are you right now?
I'm 19 years old.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to apologize.
Why don't you, you probably ought to apologize to your mother for having to take time away from whatever she has to do today to bring you here because you can't drive.
I apologize, Mom, for having to keep taking time out of your day and have you missing money because I have to come to court and I can't drive for the dumb decisions that I made. I just want to apologize for that.
Ms. Cutts?
Thank you, Your Honor. In this case, what the state was most concerned about, and was obviously very concerning, we do see failure to comply cases. This case was a little bit more extreme in the sense that the defendant was going up to speeds of 110 miles per hour, so that the police cruiser could not gain enough to catch up to him, as well as it's on the dash cam, as well as obviously the officer saw at one point the defendant drove the car on the shoulder to go around the right side of a vehicle at those high speeds while it was on 90. Though we did not speak to the person in that car, based on obviously what you were talking about earlier, that would be a very scary thing to have a car quickly whip around the side of you on 90. Defendant also turned the lights off on the car to make it harder to see him. When the police did determine who he was, they had a partial plate. Then they were able to use the cameras in the area to get the actual plate, and the defendant was a registered owner and was able to contact him at that point.
The next day, right?
I would have to...
I think they called him the next day.
It was the next day, that is correct. So the next day they called him, both members of two different police departments, because there was more than one police department involved. Wycliffe is the one who eventually brought the charges in, but it did begin with Willowick having an interest in the car as it drove around and pulled into a driveway to get away from the police and then pulled back out. When the police spoke with him, he did indicate that he would turn himself in. He did not do so. The defendant does have a record. It's not an extensive record. It looks like in 2024 he has a speeding ticket, and in 2025 that is the other failure to comply that was dismissed. He has a conviction for obstructing official business. That occurred on May 21st. This incident occurred on June 6th. So very close in time with similar charges. It is the defendant's first felony. Of course, he is 19 years old, so he hasn't had a lot of time to accumulate a record, though if he stays on this path, it will accumulate quickly. At this point, based on his limited record, we don't oppose community control. We do feel that this was very serious, however, so we do feel that jail time is appropriate. He has 3 days credit. We would ask that he be ordered to enter and successfully complete the decision point program, that he have a mental health evaluation and follow all recommendations, that he be ordered to engage in community service hours, that he maintain full-time work and or school, that he not use any drugs or alcohol and have periodic screens that come back negative. They have one doctor, one dentist, one pharmacy, sign any releases for probation, that if he is prescribed any medication, that he take it only as prescribed, that he receive the mandatory driver's license suspension and pay any costs and fees, and that he be made aware that if he is given this opportunity, that if he does violate it, the potential for 18 months in prison returns. So that would be the state's recommendation at this time.
Thank you. Where are you going? You said you were going to counseling. Is that right?
Yes.
Where?
It's in Beechwood.
What's the name of it?
I don't know the name of the company, but the person that I've talked to, his name is Jeremy. I cannot. His last name, I can't remember his last name.
May I speak, Your Honor? It's Jeremy Shapiro. We submitted an email verifying that at the time of the email on September 3rd, Mr. Jenkinson got to 2 appointments, I believe.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, listened to you, listened to counsel, considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'll place you on community control for a year. You're going to serve 3 days in jail with credit for 3. You're going to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're going to maintain full-time employment. I want you to continue your mental health treatment with Jeremy Shapiro and follow all the recommendations that he makes. Complete the decision points program through probation and follow the recommendations. And pay the cost and supervision fees in this case. Do you understand those terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any question about any of those terms?
No, Your Honor.
If you don't comply with the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if it finds you violated, you face 18 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also going to suspend your driver's license for a period of 3 years. It'll be effective June 6th of 2025. You didn't have a license at the time, did you?
I have a Georgia's license. I don't have a Cleveland license.
Okay. Well, you can't drive on the Georgia license. You can't get an Ohio license until your suspension is up. And then, like I told you, if you pull this nonsense again, you won't have a driver's license for the rest of your life. So you've completely unnecessarily dug yourself a hole for no good reason at all. That's the bad thing. The good thing is you're only 19. So you have plenty of time to dig yourself out of that hole if you want to. But that's up to you. Is there anything else, Ms. Cutts?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Fatika?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Don't be out doing stupid shit. Do what you're supposed to do.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
You may have to go over the prosecution. Go over the rule. Do you have to go over that?